Are you thinking about starting a business? Here's the harsh truth. Most businesses fail. But what if I could unlock the secrets to ensure that yours doesn't? In this video, I'll share 5 powerful branding secrets I learned that have helped me over the last 14 years. And it can transform your business and help it thrive. If you're like me, you'll wish you knew these sooner. Let's dive right into the first secret, the game-changing power of personal branding. The world is changing rapidly, but the control for attention space was dominated by large companies and brands that could spend the most. But in recent years, it's easier than ever to get a platform. Some of the world's most iconic entrepreneurs understand this. Steve Jobs revolutionized the personal computing industry through his personal brand and clear focus. More recently, Elon Musk has positioned himself to shape the future by leveraging his personal brand. This is even more apparent when we consider the following numbers of big personalities relative to their companies. Take Richard Branson, for instance. He has 12 million followers on X, while his brand Virgin only has 250,000. Elon Musk has almost 200 million followers compared to Tesla's 23 million. People align with those that they perceive as influential and powerful and innovative more than they do a business. This human connection is integral to how we buy. Once someone feels a connection to your personal brand, it becomes far more likely that they will be willing to purchase the products and services that you offer. The work of authority and trust is done. This shift is already impacting the success of entrepreneurs for the better and companies who are slow to adapt for the worse. But a personal brand without a purpose and ability to pitch is worthless. It's exhausting trying to chase opportunities only to realize that you have no traction. As you build your personal brand, take into consideration how to position yourself clearly. Make it easily identifiable to others, what your purpose is and what you offer. Your goal is to switch your brain from functionality to vitality. So what do I mean by functionality? That's the ability to perform a task within the business, to get the work done while effectively turning your brain off. This has been the essence of our Industrial Revolution-centered world, where blue-collar factory workers and white-collar office workers performed repetitive tasks in their respective fields. But the world is changing rapidly, and in order to succeed in this changing economy, entrepreneurs must perform a completely different role, becoming vital. They have to become vital. Vitality means to be irreplaceable or to be the life force behind something. This is your ability to approach your business through the lens of learning, strategizing, and looking for opportunity. What you're doing with your personal brand and business is giving others the context of your purpose and the why, driving you to be a key person of influence in your niche or industry. But how do you become driven by your purpose? You have to get extremely good at pitching. Pitching is presenting your business value, what exactly it is that you do, and what you offer, all in a compelling way. To do that, you have to learn how to inspire people to new ways of thinking or behavior. Imagine you have an existing apparel business or brand with several types of equipment. You have products and potential services, but you're struggling to find opportunities. This is an extremely common problem. You have a mountain of potential in the form of unused production, creative and skill, but no kinetic momentum. Yet often the first place that these types of people look is at new and trending equipment or processes, hoping to attract businesses by further increasing their capabilities. They want to sell into unmet demand by offering supply in the next underserved market. This approach requires them to be early into the new market and spend heavily on the next piece of tech, all before their competitors can catch up. Someone who has a successful brand or business is taking a look at the equipment that they already have and saying, okay, well, let's look at niches that we haven't thought of. Let's look at the trends and find some unmet needs in the market. How do we lean into what we're using and what we have? It's easy to discount this approach and feel like every great idea has been thought of, but some of the greatest pitches are made in the most established and mundane markets. It just requires someone to think differently about it and then they act. Think about Elon Musk again and how he did this with the Cybertruck. Right up until the moment that people saw it, they never in a million years would have thought, oh, I want a Cybertruck. It was a product right out of a cyberpunk future with a list of features to match. But once Elon said, this is what you need. This is the coolest truck that you could ever think of. Just put a $100 deposit down. Over 1 million people did. They trusted his personal brand and aligned with his vision for the future. So you may be thinking, okay, great. I'm not a great pitcher. I don't have that skill, because it is something that you have to learn. You really need to think about in a way that you want to impact your niche. And what's your why beyond I want to make money? From there, it becomes becomes possible to determine your how and then your what by painting the canvas for your business or brand. This keeps everything streamlined so that when you're interacting with your audience, you know exactly how to engage them while hitting all of the pain points and answering all of their questions because you know your why. You need to have an idea that's bigger than you without trying to solve problems that require you to have an Elon Musk-sized personal brand already. I know it's not easy, but don't get discouraged here. Even the best entrepreneurs go through that feeling around in the dark phase where they're at best only directionally correct. As you develop a group of people who believe what you believe and in what you're doing, the next P is prolific beats perfect. Being highly productive is better than getting it perfect every time. Anyone who is successful is prolific and not perfect. You need to get over the idea that you feel like you have to put this perfect thing out every single time. When I was creating my very first apparel line, I designed about 20 shirts. Out of those, 5 were bestsellers, and out of those, only 1 brought in $75,000. This is what it means to be highly productive because you don't know what's going to stick. If I did the one that I liked best and called it a day until it was perfect, I would still be designing my apparel line, and the trends would have gone on without me. There's this notion that exists called Dunbar's number, and Robin Dunbar worked out how the human brain works to organize groups of people. You have about 5 people in a family, about 15 close friends, 50 people in your friendship circle, and then it goes on to 150, 500, 1500. And he has these concentric spheres that people who surround you. And he found that in order for you to trust someone enough to purchase from them, it requires around 7 hours of time spent with that person so that they reach this point where they liked them enough to make their way into the acquaintance sphere. Google did another test in which they found that people had to have 11 touch points with the brand or company before they purchased. So when looking at someone's purchase history and evaluating how many times during the lead up that the person interacted with the brand or business, the average number was 10.7. So we have 7 hours and 11 interactions people have to have before they feel confident enough and secure enough to make a purchase because they like and trust you. This is where you may be thinking, well, great, that is a lot. How do I do this? You only have so many options, and depending on your type of business or brand, it varies. So you can take people out to coffee or dinner. This puts you in the same place at the same time, so it can be limiting. Or you can utilize technology like social media or other platforms. When you're listening to this video, if you've made it this far anyways, you're probably more receptive to what I'm saying because you've warmed up to the idea that we're on the same page and we both want what's best for your business and we both want you to succeed. Technology has reached the point to where the average person has the ability to create a message and to distribute it at scale, reaching an audience for the critical 7 hours and 11 interactions necessary for a purchase. If you keep doing the work, eventually you will find your audience or niche. Another way to think about this is by taking a look at your best friend. Your best friend is there for you because you've carved out and invested a lot of time with them over the years. They don't judge everything you've ever said or analyzing whether each and every interaction and conversation is good or if it's bad. It's an ongoing thing and it's time spent. You may never have a runaway product or a viral success, but that's okay because humans operate on consistency and exposure to something or someone and building trust. If you're driving down the road and someone stops you to ask you what types of cars passed you along the way, you probably won't remember what they were. But if your dream car or your best friend's car passed, even if you just catch a glimpse out of the corner of your eye, your brain lights up. It's just how we work. So now we have positioning or product ecosystem, and it's the next aspect for this powerful branding. There are 4 types of product that a business needs in order to scale. The first is a gift, something you can give away for free and asking for nothing in return, no strings attached. Normally, this is something digital, like an ebook or a printable. It has to be received like a gift though, well packaged and timed and thoughtful. Everything is downhill after you get attention. I did this before I understood why it works so well, but my gift was a physical item. I sent it to influencers and purchasers, and it had a direct input on my profit margins in the best possible way. Next is a product for prospects. This is something like an introductory workshop or a webinar, an online quiz that asks for an email to send results to. You want something that scales and it doesn't take a lot of time. It needs to be something that sits in your ecosystem and is an easy yes from prospective customers to engage with. Then we have your core offering. It could be a product or a service or even a tiered service, something like bronze, silver, gold options. Then the final product should be a product for your clients. You should have something that you can take customers on an extended journey and look after them within your niche for years. And one of the easiest things you can do is a monthly introduction to blank. And this ecosystem is what will drive profit. At every single step, you want people to feel like they've received value. And even if they walk away after one product or two, they can have a positive experience from your business. Let's look at a direct-to-film or a DTF machine. Just as it is, it won't tell you how to make money. It's a piece of equipment that can be used as a tool with knowledge required and supplies to make it run. You may get a couple of bucks from someone wanting samples or even a few things on shirts printed out every now and again. But what makes a huge amount of money is your ability to meet the dynamic needs and lean into business opportunities that DTF printing machines are uniquely positioned to solve. If you know how to utilize or position your business around those needs, rather than having just modeled after another successful business, that's when you're able to spot opportunities. A niche will have a need, and if you know how to position your business to catch that potential profit, you'll succeed, while others look in from the outside. There's a clear distinction here. You're not selling yourself. You're not even selling your time for money. But what you are doing is positioning your products, your services, and your business around yourself so that all you have to do is tell your niche or pitch your idea or your purpose. Then, as if by magic, everything that's going on around you can be lifted into the ecosystem. Next is your profile, and it'll include guarding your reputation. One way to do this is to Google your business. What comes up? What platforms or videos? What typically happens for most businesses or brands is there isn't much there. It's either really quiet or it's boring. You have an Instagram and a website. But the important thing to know is that you're in charge of that. You are not the victim of Google. You can build and improve your profile, getting your message out there or your why out there, and building your relationships or your networking up through the process with people who want all of the boats to rise. One key feature here that's probably the most important thing that you could possibly take away from this video is that you should never be taking the spotlight. You should always be becoming a spotlight and saying, look at that, check this out, have a look at what's going on over here. So yes, you should always be the face showing up because you now know the importance of the human mind and how it connects with other humans. But the truly powerful branding strategists divert the attention from themselves onto a trend or onto an idea or a product, something that they want you to pay attention to. The next P is partnerships. There's this illusion that we're living in a scarce and resource bankrupt world, but in reality, there's more money and technology on the planet than ever before. Accessing resources beyond your immediate control, rather than saving up money to do something, you should be partnering with people who already have the money or the following to get the product or service launched. I have thought about this a lot lately for my own apparel business, and what my main plan consists of and how I'm going to go about this, especially when time is not on my side for launching. In other words, you need your product to be launched into the market as quickly as possible. I would partner with an influencer as my co-founder on the brand or the product. What this does is unlocks an instant and automatic audience for you. You can turn their audience into your customers, and it can literally save you years of building an audience like that. One with a relationship built on trust and attention. On our last podcast, we went over how 92% of people trust recommendations from influencers over brands because they built this connection. When you have an influencer-owned or founder-led personal brand, it humanizes the brand or product. I've already used this, and it's helped me generate 6 figures my first year without having additional marketing. It doesn't have to be a huge following-backed influencer either. I've had the most revenue generated from micro-influencers who we teamed up and we formed this small group. So this prompts the question, why would they want to work with you? Well, you will have to do the heavy lifting, figuring out how it would best serve their niche and their audience. Make sure that from a marketing perspective, it's something that they would be proud to post and that they can get excited about. I've also talked about this before in my other videos about how important it is to let your influencers do their magic and not to micromanage. Don't micromanage them. All you would need them to do is post in a way that they felt resonated with their following, because nowadays people can spot a fake. And if you're being disingenuous, people don't want to be sold to. They want to be understood and felt seen. And you can do that by allowing your influencers creative freedom within boundaries and not telling them to sell, but to say, hey, this is a great product. I love it. If you want more info, the link's in the description. On the other side of this, you could have the following, but need the product. So you could go to a brand or a product supplier or manufacturer and partner with them to amplify that. Credibility should be examined closely. Have they done this before? Can I trust them? Have I seen great results from what they do? Then you look at aligning values and those types of things. By applying these 5 powerful branding secrets, you can transform your business and attract customers effortlessly. Which of these 5 P's will you start today? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your plans to help you succeed.